All right. Bear down. Bear down. So here's the top 5 plays from the Chicago Bears game last week. Sorry about this, but the Bears Stadium is not like a dome. It's very open. So there's nowhere for the cameras to be for an all 22 cam. So I guess this is the view that we get to look at the plays from. Great stuff, right? So here's the first play. We're jumping all the way to the third quarter. This is the long Ted Ginn pass that led to a Latavius Murray touchdown. I'm not really sure why this play worked, because it shouldn't. This is Dan Arnold right here. This is a two-man route. It's a play-action pass. It's a fake to Latavius Murray. Dan Arnold's going to run a little comeback right here and sit here, and Ted Ginn's just going to take the top off and run a post route to the corner of the end zone. And the reason this shouldn't work is because the safety has all the power here. This is HaHa Clinton-Dix, and he should be looking at Ted Ginn, but instead he bites on Dan Arnold as the comeback route, which lets Ted Ginn slip right behind him. And I don't know about you guys, but if I have to pick between Ted Ginn 40 yards downfield or Dan Arnold 15 yards downfield, I'm taking Ted Ginn every time. So he makes the wrong decision. Teddy sees it, and he floats the ball out there on a dot. Perfect pass. Actually, not a perfect pass. If it was a little bit further downfield, it would have been a touchdown, but he threw it where he knew it was going to be a completion instead of where it could have been a riskier pass for an incompletion. So let's take a look.
This guy was a Pro Bowl running back for the Oakland Raiders just 2 years ago. Caught a ton of passes out of the backfield, rushed for over 1,000 yards. Last year he went in backing up Dalvin Cook in Minnesota and wound up the starter. Looking for Ginn wide open. And Ginn inside the 5-yard line. His first catch of the afternoon for the 34-year-old native of Cleveland.
All right, so here's the next play. This is a great play, and it's really been taking the league by storm. A lot of people use this on the goal line now, a lot of people. And if you watch the Super Bowl between the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots, when the Falcons were up 28 to 3 points, I'm not sure if you guys know about this. The Falcons were actually up 28 points to 3, and they lost the game. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good stuff. But anyway, this was the pass to Danny Amendola that tied the game, the 2-point conversion late in the fourth quarter. Same scheme, same type of play, everything. So Taysom's going to run behind these two guys, and the reason this works is because it's an immediate pass to Taysom Hill, and these two guys are allowed to block because they're within a yard of the line of scrimmage. If they were 5 yards or further downfield, it would have been offensive pass interference. Excuse that bell in the background. But it would be offensive pass interference if these two receivers were farther downfield, but instead they were right on the line of scrimmage. It's an immediate pass, which basically allows them to turn into offensive linemen. And you throw the ball to Taysom Hill, who says he squats 620 pounds, and I believe it. This dude's a monster. And people say he's a gadget player. People were talking a lot of smack last year, but I mean, dude's got 2 touchdowns and a lot more coming, especially when Drew Brees comes back and we're able to play with our backup quarterback catching passes and us not being concerned.
Has not gotten much help, and even with a 9-point lead, it just feels like it's not even as close as that.
Throw to Hill, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
All right, here's the next play. So this play was actually called back for a holding call on the man I'm about to spotlight. But it was such a bad call that I'm going to stick it to the refs, and I'm going to put it in this top 5. Sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath, but I just ran like 10 miles just because I wanted to be here so bad. I ran 10 miles to my computer from the desert, uphill both ways. Okay, so this is Josh Hill. So if you're a Saints fan, you know who Josh Hill is, and you probably wonder every now and then, how's this dude still on the field? How's this dude still on the team after all these years? This is why. One of the best blockers in the league, if not the best blocking tight end in the NFL. He's not great on receiving routes, not a huge threat in the receiving game, but I mean, he's a ridiculous run blocker. So we motion him out to the other side of the field, right? And what does this tell the defense? It tells them, be alert for a run to that side. They've got a tight end over there. He's an extra blocker. This actually almost looks like the touchdown pass to Taysom Hill because of these two receivers over here. So they can really consider everything. But here's Josh Hill, right? So this is Khalil Mack, one of the best defenders we've ever seen. He's not just an elite pass rusher. He's an amazing run stuffer as well. He makes great plays off the ball, and he's quick off the snap. So what you're doing here is you're alerting him, and he's thinking, I'm one of the best defenders in the league. They're double teaming me. This is Josh Hill and Teron Armstead. They're going to come at me, and they're going to take me out of the play. But instead, it's just Josh Hill, one-on-one with Khalil Mack. And Josh Hill he dominates him. They called holding on him. It's not a holding call at all. You can watch it for yourself. And he just dominates the play. He might have, the fact that he has him grabbed right here might be a reason why it's called holding. But honestly, it wasn't even a part of the play. The thing that grabs my eye is just how he immediately grabs him off the line of scrimmage. He beats him to the point of contact. And this play is built for Josh Hill to drag him inside, basically, to get his stance in front of Khalil Mack and have him come inside so Latavius Murray can pretend to run inside and bounce it outside for the touchdown. That's how the play is designed. And that's exactly how it worked. He might have held on for a little bit too long, but it's just amazing to me that he can go one-on-one with one of the best pass rushers in the league and just absolutely, dominate him from the point of attack. And that should have been a touchdown all the way. Good play by Latavius Murray. I'm not going to show the broadcast because, it was holding, but next play. Here is the next play. And again, sorry for the quality. Not my fault. Blame it on NFL.com. Blame it on the Chicago Bears. So here is Michael Thomas running across the formation. This is incredibly similar to a play we saw earlier. I think it was against the Bucks, where I said Teddy just threw a perfect throw on a crossing route to Michael Thomas. And that's exactly what this is. It's a play action to Latavius Murray. Thomas goes out. He shows that it's a zone because no one followed him across the formation. And the funny thing about this is I was watching the post-practice interviews today for the Saints, and Teddy Bridgewater was asked a question that was, do you ever throw a pass to Michael Thomas just because his name is Michael Thomas? Just because he's a monster, just because he's going to go out there and have a better chance at catching the ball than the defender does. And he said this is the throw that made him think of that. Like, this is the throw he referenced. This is the last pass of the game before the Bears did their crazy stuff. And he gets double teamed. Thomas is going to run down the field, and Kyle Fuller right here and Clinton Dix are going to follow him all the way across the formation. And Teddy just puts one of the absolute most perfect passes you'll ever see right onto Michael Thomas, right on his hands. And, what they say is right. You can't defend the perfect pass, and this is the perfect pass, the perfect throw. And it's just a thing of beauty when you watch it in full speed. So we're just going to get straight to broadcast.
Third down. Bridgewater under pressure. Lofts. Oh my! What a throw and what a catch by Thomas. And are they saying he's down? They are at the 15-yard line.
So here's the last play I'm going to look at. It's nothing special. There wasn't anything that jumped out to me too much in this game, but this needed to be mentioned. This is CJ Gardner Johnson, the rookie we drafted last draft. And when PJ Williams got suspended, everyone was concerned. Patrick Robinson had just gone down with an injury. We were like, who's going to step up? Who's going to step up? This is him. This is the guy. This is CJ Gardner Johnson. And he's had a very good season. Every week he's playing more and more defensive snaps. Even when PJ wasn't suspended, CJ Gardner, he logged 30 snaps, 20 snaps. And he's just going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up, and I feel like he might actually take the job from PJ Williams as the starting slot corner, especially with the way he plays. He plays with passion. He plays fiery every single play. And a lot of the game, he was actually tasked with manning up on Tariq Cohen, which is not an easy thing to do. As we all know, he's one of the fastest, shiftiest little guys in the league. Little guys, by the way. And he just shut him down. Like, he would not let him get past him. He wouldn't bite on any jukes. He covered him in the man. He covered him in the run. He had 3 or 4 tackles for a loss this game. He was all over the field. And this is just a simple out route with Anthony Miller on CJ right here. And he just plays it perfectly. Again, it's nothing special, but it's perfect defensive coverage. And he just had such a good game that I had to mention him in one of these plays. And when PJ comes back, like I said, I would not be surprised if CJ just keeps balling out and keeps having success as a defensive back. He with Eli Apple going down too, I mean, he might be limited next game. He might not even play. I would not be concerned if we have. I mean, I would be concerned about the corner slot, slot corner, excuse me, because I don't know who that would be. But if CJ has to move outside, he'll do it, and he'll do it great. The Saints drafting culture has changed so much in the past few years, where we're getting excited for rookies every time we see him on the field, and this guy is nothing different. He's just a monster on the field, and I cannot wait for him to develop into our defense as our DBs are just getting better and better. I'll run in and broadcast real quick. Then I'll talk about Drew.
I think they're still trying to figure out how to utilize him, and they probably said that about a lot of that.
Try it for the end zone. This is the first trip inside the red zone for the Bears.
All right, so real quick, I just wanted to mention, everyone's talking about Drew Brees. I'm just going to make my prediction. I think that he's not playing this week. I don't think there's a chance he plays this week. I would love to be wrong, but I think him and Sean are making the Cardinals prepare for two different quarterbacks instead of one, which why wouldn't you? I think he was always aiming to get back against the Falcons at home after the bye. And having 2 more weeks is going to be huge for him. I mean, hopefully the Cardinals is really a rollover game and we just steamboat right over them. Not a game that we would think we would need Drew Brees, especially if Kamara's back. So hopefully that's what happens. But I think he's not coming back this week. I think it's all talk and it's all to get in the Cardinals' head. And last second we're going to say, oh, he's not ready to go. He might dress, but I don't think he's going to play. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I think we see Drew Brees back after the bye week against the Atlanta Falcons. So I'll see you guys hopefully after the Cardinals game.